Hello everybody, my name is Zach, aka The Weather Gamer, bringing you Week 10 of WWC, the recap, and Week 11 pick'ems. I am not alone again this week. We finally have the return of Shadow.
Hey.
Shadow finally gets to come back and record. It's been a while, so we'll see. What was our goal last time? Under 45?
Think so.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can do that. We do have some unfortunate news. After going a week without dropouts, we had a couple dropouts this week. First off, regrettably, we've lost Savage in the Baltimore Murkrows. Savage had to pull out of basically every league he was in. I don't know why. I don't know what's up. Just that he basically left. He left APA and everything else, and he's left WWC. All I know is he's gone. So, just gotta wish him the best. We do have Thriller and the Iowa Jolteons jumping in here to take over for Savage. I've squared off with Thriller once in the APA. He's a good battler. We'll see if he can keep Savage's momentum rolling and charge into playoffs as a late addition. We also, unfortunately, lost Ga and the Gallic Gardevoirs. God just wasn't feeling it anymore, was busy, couldn't get team building done, couldn't get matches played on time. Just decided that it was best if he stepped away, which I respect and understand 100%. He can't do leagues anymore. He can do tourneys, but he can't do leagues because they're just way too long of a commitment. So instead, we have Saber here with the London Luxrays. I have no information on Saber, other than the fact that Nikki knows him, and Nikki brought him in. Other than that, I know nothing, so we'll see how Saber does taking over for Ga, but that's two teams in the very crowded Mikan division that have been replaced now. So kicking it off into power rankings, we have Mumanish and the West Texas Leafeons. Your bottom four didn't change this week. Mama's 1-8, minus 30, sitting in 16th with no change. At this point, I really don't know what to say with Mama. I mean, she's trying. She just is not to the level that the rest of the WWC coaches are, and I don't know how to help her right now other than sending her down to D. I really don't know what else to do. I mean, I don't have really anything to say. Shadow, how about you?
I like the Trick Room Nasty Plot Kofag. That's about it.
Yeah, I've been swept by that. Savage actually 5-0'd me week 1 of WWC Season 1 with that. I know how nasty that can be. Didn't she get parried on that, though?
Yeah, there's a lot of hacks.
Okay, that's what I thought. Lord Ixie and the Philadelphia Phantoms lost. They're 2-7, minus 22, still sitting in 15th position. Again, just ouch, 6-0'd by Dragoon and Rain. I've been on the receiving end of a 6-0 from Dragoon. Granted, mine was from Celesteela, which is a little more understandable, but just ouch. I know there were some hacks in this game that made it a 6-0, but it's just, I don't know, it's got to be tough, and it's pretty much gonna end up being the end of the line, I think, isn't it, for Ixie in playoffs?
Yeah, I think he's out.
If he's not, he's really close. And I think I got it. No. Oh, yeah, I did win this week, which is why I got ahead of Nikki. I was like, wait, didn't Nikki and I have the same record? But never mind. Forgetting about that. Looking here, what did board say? Basically, crit mattered to from Shandy to make it a 6-0, and Altaria didn't put in much for power rankings this week. He was busy, so we won't have Altaria's power rankings really other than positioning. So, yeah. Nikki, 2-7, minus 16, sitting in 14th. Nikki is my vote for the most improved between seasons, and honestly, he is also, I believe, knocked out of playoffs now. It's either that or if he loses this week, he's locked out, but I don't 100% remember. There was hacks in this game too, wasn't there? He missed something. Didn't he miss a focus blast or something?
I have no idea.
I don't remember. You're the one who...
I have nothing to say about this.
About Nikki? Oh, I was looking at the wrong week's power rankings. Yeah, Nikki didn't have any switch-ins for Crimson, you're right. I was looking at week 8's power rankings on accident.
Board helped Nikki.
Yeah, Board did help Nikki. And I did too, but I kind of let Board finish it because I got busy last week. But I don't like Ancient Power on Kyurem. I don't think that was the right move. I think he needed Dev Earth Power. I think he would have been better off with Earth Power over Ancient Power there, because he could have at least done some damage at the end, but he was forced into Specs Ancient Power. I mean, if he'd gotten the boosts, that might have been different, but I don't know. I'm sitting down here in 13th still, 3-6, -7. Lost to Huff. Agility... Hidden Power Ice Arcanine? The hell is that? It's just something that Huff comes up with. I'm basically on life support at this point as far as the playoff race goes. I have to win out and have a lot of people lose. And if I lose this week to Crimson, I'm pretty well toast. I am toast. I'm out if I lose to Crimson, so... There's really not much to say about what happened with me. I just got out-prepped, was all. I'm sure you'd agree with that.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing you just said.
Like, Huff is a madman. Who brings that type of mon? But, whatever.
Only him.
Spare is sitting in 12th at 4-5, -2. He's got a very rough schedule remaining to try and get in. He's got to run through you. He's got to run through Ryan. He's got Damien still to make playoffs. He really, really, really could not have afforded that loss. Yeah, I do, and I think Board touched on it too. I do think that... keeping his Lando in after the Ice Fang was shown was a huge mistake.
Well, I'd say that wasn't the main issue. The main issue was him missing the Stone Edge and Scolipede.
Well, yeah,
that just lost him the game.
You miss a Stone Edge, you're basically toast. But well, didn't
yeah, because if he landed the Stone Edge, the Scolipede would have been dead, and he would have still had Scizor and Heracross for Metagross in the Incineroar. Because Heracross could eat Incineroar.
Didn't the Scolipede also live on like 2 HP or 2% or something?
Yeah, they lived on 2 HP afterwards from the Bullet Punch.
Yeah, so just rough hacks for Spare, and he's going to have to win out, I think. Or he's screwed, and that includes going through you.
Yeah, he's got a tough schedule.
That division is just nasty now that Rai's there. Like, it just made it that much more difficult with Rai taking over for Diran.
Yeah, and Rai's undefeated since he went to.
Yeah, let's see if that's gonna be the story of the season. He takes over for a Left 4 Dead team and runs it all the way through.
Yeah, my last 2 weeks are not looking fun with those teams I have to face. I have to face the most broken team, apparently, and then I have to face Steelix, King, Hex, Megalops, Necrozma.
Yeah, but you're already clinched, so like, what does it really matter? You clinched, you win this week, you clinched the #1 seed. You really could just take a vacation for 3 weeks and meme, and actually meme. And
I could, or I can try this undefeated seed.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're not wrong there. And again, by meme, I mean bring Special Mega Gallade, Physical Gardevoir. Those were 2 memes you definitely could have brought versus Ga.
I could go Combat Gallade.
You could go Special Breloom. That would have been funny to see Special Breloom.
Really need to look at that.
Like Giga Drain sub, Leech Seed Toxic, something like, I don't know. Anyways, Damien 4 and 5 plus 1, sitting in 11th. Damien's screwed, to be perfectly honest. And Damien, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. You are screwed. You got to go through Rye, Shadow, and Spare to get into playoffs. Like, somehow when I had the RNG make the schedule, it just decided to destroy your soul. I don't know why. It's not fair. But my biggest complaint this week was sand coming. It could work, but when there's a Buzzwall staring you in the face, sand is not going to do you any good. And I think Ghostium Z Shadow Claw on the Excadrill might have been the wrong Z move. Where are you going off now, computer? Knock it off. Yeah, he was so worried about Decidueye because I helped him build a little bit and talked to him about it. He was so worried about Decidueye checking his team with his Sand and Rotom and all that he decided to go Shadow Claw Ghost Z on his Excadrill to try and catch it on a switch, and I think he overprepped for Decidueye.
See, he could have ran Flyinium Z, so not only hit Decidueye, but also Buzzwole.
What? Oh, Aerial Ace, doesn't it get?
Yeah.
That probably would have been better, yeah. Because then he also could have Aerial Aced every time the Buzzwole came in. Buzzwole's just a stupidly fat mon. It's unbelievable. But
I haven't gotten to use it yet.
I used it for like 2 weeks, and then somebody told me to trash it because it's not a good mon, and then proceeded to get 4-0'd by it later in the season.
Oh, I got a Breloom set idea.
For a special...
It gets Charm.
It gets Charm. Oh my god. I don't want to know what your sick and twisted mind is coming up with those, but... Moving on,
I'm seeing some good ideas.
Yeah, okay. Save them for playoffs. Moving on, we've got Thriller and the Iowa Jolteons sitting at 5 and 4, -7th. -7, sitting in 10th position, falling 3 spots. This is more a reflection on Savage than... Oh, God, come on. Shadow, fill the time for a second for me, will ya? Just talk about Savage's match for me.
And they were all on streaks other than Matthias. But Matthias has been having a pretty solid season, and what is it? Slick is right on his tail.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. There was a bit of miscommunication there. My dad called me, so I was on the phone with him, and I was like, Shadow, talk while I'm doing this, and Shadow couldn't hear me because apparently I roboted for a second, so... Anywho, yeah, it's... Savage just got whooped this week. Just out of nowhere. He took, what, a 5-0 this week, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, it's been 5-0 twice in a row.
Yeah, it has not been good, and... Yeah.
He's had 4 1-0 wins.
That's his main issue, is, like, he's been getting... Crimson, are you kidding me? Sorry. Yeah, it's not been good for him. So, hopefully Thriller can turn it around. Otherwise, Thriller's going to take over and not be able to get past Savage's shackles that are basically latched onto him. Speaking...
Yeah, it's an uphill battle with that differential.
Yeah. Speaking of being on their tail, Slick is back, getting a win now. Back to 4-5. He's not -6, he's +6. What am I doing here? 4-5 +6. The fact that he's got such a high differential for a negative win-loss is really what's going to help him with playoffs. I really wish he would lose a game or two so I could maybe chase, but I don't know. He's playing well. He got hot at the end of the season after starting 0-4. He's gone, 4-1 since going 0-4? Something like that. Did I lose you, Shadow?
No, I was just trying to look.
Oh, you were...
Yeah.
You just went quiet on me for a second. I was like, uh-oh, did my thing cut out? Yeah, he did go 0-4 and then 4-1 coming out of it. So he's definitely gotten hot. Can he continue to stay hot and get into playoffs? I mean, he's got to play me. He's got to play Lord Ixie. And then he's got a showdown with Crimson in there somewhere. He's probably going to beat Lord Ixie. He's probably going to beat me. The question now becomes is, can he beat Crimson? And if he does, that makes this playoff race very, very interesting from the wild card standpoint.
Even if he goes 2-1, he still has a solid chance.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, because Mike and's got to rip each
all
other
the
apart.
top people above him play each other.
Yep. So there's Slick sitting in 9th, moving up 2 spots. Rye is our biggest mover this week. He's skyrocketed up the board. He's 4-5 -4 in 8th. +4 differential or +4 movement. Was Garen 1-5 when he took over? I think Garen was 1-5 when he took over.
Yeah, 1-5.
So he's gone 3-0 like you talked about earlier. He's gone 3-0 just running up.
4-0.
4-0? No, he's 4-5.
Oh wait, no. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's 4-5. So, granted, one of those he picked up was a forfeit win, but the 2 games he's played have been a 4-0 and a 5-0. It's he's here for blood. Like, he's going to make some noise to try and push himself into playoffs because it's between him, Damien, and Spare, and all 3 of them still have to go after each other. They all have to play you, but
I think 4 seed between those. I think Huff has got it with the schedule.
He's got to play Nikki and Mama still, but you know, Huff has been so inconsistent this season too. Like, that's where I'm not ready to call Huff the 3 seed yet, but we'll see. We got Matthias here. Whoa, what did I just do to the dock? Dock, behave. Matthias here sitting in 6th, moving down 7th, moving down 3 positions. 5-4 +1. You can't lose games. Like, I know he played you, and it's never a fun time to play you, but of all the games in all the divisions, this is the one he needed to get because he's now back at the bottom 2 spots in his division. And with Slick chasing up from the bottom, it's potential that 2 of these teams in Mikan don't make it because they end up ripping each other apart. Like, beating you would have been that one win that stood out to help Matthias. Instead, Matthias is now going to have to really, really focus to keep his spot alive.
Yeah, if he goes 1-2, he can be knocked out by Slick.
Yeah, that's really dangerous to think about because he's got to play Thriller, he's still got to play Clem, and he's still got to play Saber. And no, other than Nikki, I don't think anybody knows anything about Saber right now.
I think it's from PLA or something.
Yeah, something like that. But still, he's a wild card. So we don't know. With Ga and Savage, we knew what we had there. Like, we've seen all season what we've got coming from them. And this potentially...
Not just 2 new people.
Yeah, this potentially shifts the power in that division again, but... We'll see. Huff, who you think is going to be the 3 seed, is 5-4 -1, picking up a 2-0 versus me, sitting at... Or moving up 3 spots. Like I said, versus me, he just out-prepped me really, really badly. Like, who brings an Arcanine carrying Hidden Power Ice and Agility? And I know Board is incredibly happy about this. I think Board put him at number 1 or something, just to, 1, to spite you, and 2, to just show his appreciation for the Arcanine.
Yeah, he puts best meme of the week up there, pretty much.
Unless there's no memes, and then it's you, because you're so far unstoppable. Clem finally getting a win again, is 6-3 +8, 5th, moving up a slot. He's now in control of Mikan, at least for this week. His differential is also helping with this, being +8, I believe.
No, he's only +2.
He's only +2. Oh, wait. Yep, I have him and Saber flipped on the thing. He's +2. Never mind, he's second. He's still way too close to the rest of Mikan, with them having to go round robin still. That +2 differential may come back to bite him, because Matthias is only 1 differential point and 1 win behind him, and they still play. So, like, Clem, you kind of need to stack some wins there and get some differential, dude. He did play very...
He really only needs 1.
Yeah, well, that's true. 1 win, and, like, Matthias and Thriller both losing would secure him pretty well into one of the top seeds.
Yeah, only 1 win gives him still a pretty solid chance.
Yeah. But he picked up the win, which he needed to keep himself in control. There is Saber at 6-3 +8, 4th position, moving up 1 slot. Saber played his match, right? Because he had to play spare.
Yeah, he played his match.
Yeah, because Ga hadn't played his match yet. Let's see, well. And he 3-0'd, and yeah, okay, so that was a 3-0. Putting down Season 1 champion is a good way to start. Granted, Season 1 champion is not having a good season, but it's still a good way to start. Good way to say hello to the league. I don't know. Saber showed some real skill versus Spare. Granted, Spare did miss a Stone Edge, and that kind of sealed the deal. But relying on a 80% accurate move? Or is it 70 on... I think it's 80 on Stone Edge.
It's not 70.
No, it's 80. Relying on an 80% move, that's a risk you take. But he played incredibly well for his first match. And
yeah, the hacks really helped him out.
Yeah, and he's fortunate enough that Ga was leading the division when he quit, and so he inherits the division leader and really just needs to stay 1 game ahead of the rest of his division, and he's fine.
Yeah, I feel like if he wins 1 game, he has an even better chance.
If he wins 1 game, he's probably got it locked down.
Just because of the differential.
Yeah, that's the key, is the differential, which, speaking of which, we are into the gluttonous differential portion of our power rankings.
Yeah.
These 3 teams are just vacuuming up the differential. Portland Trail Blazikins and Crimson are 6-3 +16, sitting in 3rd, didn't move. The top 3 didn't change really this week. He needs a win and he's in, isn't it? A win and he clinches.
I think so.
Yeah, a win and he clinches, as long as I think as long as someone from Mikan loses, or if he wins. Let's see, he's got 2 games on Slick right now. If he wins and Slick wins, Slick could still get the division in theory.
Yeah, winning 2 games, even if Slick wins all 3, he'd still be division leader.
Yeah, that's true. But he punches his ticket into playoffs. I know that. He'll punch his ticket if he wins because he'll beat me, which will knock me out. And he'll have 2 games. He'll have 2 games on both Thriller and Matthias with that much differential over both of them too, because he's got 20 plus 23 over Thriller as it sits right now, and over Matthias he's got plus 15, so he should lock down his playoff spot with a win. Then we have Dragoon, who's 6-0'd, and Rain is now plus 19 at 6-3. I had Dragoon too because he's 6-0'd, but I know you had Crimson at 2, and that's because Crimson has the head-to-head win.
Yeah, it's a head-to-head win, and he has Crimson has a 4-game winning streak, and Dragoon is a 3.
Okay. I mean, Dragoon kind of ran into Crimson was his last loss, I think, and so it was either Crimson or you. I don't remember which one. And then, of course, you're sitting in first. You're 9-0. You're plus 36. Your average victory is a 4-0. Like, there's not much really to say. You've shown that you're the best in this league right now.
Yeah, the season's going pretty well.
I mean, your last 3 weeks are kind of hellish, but if you can get past Rye, I think you're fine.
Yeah, I might just throw versus Fair so I can get Rye out of playoffs.
See, this is what people didn't understand, because I mentioned this in the server. I legit said, I'm so mad that Shadow controls the 4th seed in that division, or in that conference, and nobody understood why you controlled that one. And I was like, all he has to do is either play hard versus either Spare or Rye, and then lose to the other, and he dictates who gets into playoffs.
Well, it also depends on how the others play as well.
Well, that's true. I mean, if Spare beats Rye, because they still have to play each other.
Yeah, then I would just beat Rye and then he'd be out.
Whereas if Rye wins, you'd have to beat Rye and throw to Spare.
And then I'd have to hope he wins.
Because Spare still has to play Damien, which depends on how Damien builds on that one. And he's got to play you. And if he beats Damien, you throw to him. Rye's got to lose to you and Damien, then. If Rye wins versus Spare. He'd have to lose to... Yeah, if Rye wins, you better prep yourself, because you're probably playing Rye in the back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, week 13 is going to be the big week.
That's going to be weird if you and Rye have to play week 13 and then round 1 again. But yeah. you almost have to give up your perfect season and just not bring a team. That way you don't give anything away to Rye.
I might have to do it.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. That might just turn into a meme match, to be perfectly honest. If Rye doesn't have to win it extremely hard, he could just meme win and then get there. I don't know. We've got some very messy transactions again this week. Apparently, which last week I screwed up and I said that it was Lord Ixie and Huff that were making those trades. It was not. It was not Crimson. It was Slick and Huff making trades. Slick and Huff made trades to get Slick another Mon. Slick somehow convinced Huff to do it again. This time getting his... Basically, Slick used Huff's 4 transactions for Huff. So Slick sent Blacephalon, Mega Gardevoir, and PZ for Arcanine, Zeraora, and Mega Heracross. Then Huff dropped Blacephalon, PZ, and Mega Gardevoir for Mega Altaria, Gengar, and Staraptor. And then they proceeded to swap them back around. So in the end, basically what happened was Slick dropped Blacephalon for Gengar, PZ for Staraptor, and Altaria for Mega Guard. I really don't know why he went through all the trouble to make these swaps. I think his team was fine beforehand, but what about you, Shadow?
I think that's a two. Yeah, I have no idea what to say about this.
I don't know why, like, Mega Gardevoir is better than Mega Altaria. Blacephalon and Gengar equally frail. Gengar just picks up a poison typing, whereas Blacephalon had the fire spam. And Staraptor is Staraptor. It's usually a choice band Staraptor. I don't get it, but maybe Slick can shed some light in the comments for us, because I don't know. I don't get it. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, he wasn't bringing Blacephalon along, so I just kind of understand him dropping it.
Yeah.
He only brought it once.
Did he? Yeah. Yeah, he did, actually. Because it went 1-1, I think, or 1-0, something like that, before he dropped it. Then, for taking over, Saber dropped Slurpuff, Klefki, and Golurk for Metagross, Hippowdon, and Lilligant. I've used all three of these actually before. Metagross is slow, but it hits like a truck. Unless it gets toxic, Hippo is pretty much impossible to kill most of the time, because it has reliable recovery and just is stupidly bulky. And Lilligant's a pretty good setup sweeper. It makes sense to me for the most part. He doesn't... No, he still has Coco, so he does still have a fairy type. He swaps his Steel's Klefki for that. He does lose his Prankster Defog, his Prankster Spikes, Rocks, and all that, but I think that's okay. Klefki... Yeah, that's Klefki. Slurpuff, I've kind of lost interest in Slurpuff, to be perfectly honest, after using it in APA this last season. It's not that great of a mon. I mean, it can sweep on Belly Drum, and it sets webs, but outside of that, there's really not much to it. And Golurk is just so slow that it hardly ever can get anything done before it dies. I mean, I guess that's my thoughts on these. I think he's better off with the transactions he made.
Yeah, I've only used Golurk before. I enjoyed using it for only 1 week, because the league died, but I had some sets in mind, like Scarf Golurk, but League died too fast.
You know it gets autotomized, right?
No, I wanted Scarf to hit... I think it was Linu or something.
Oh.
Or some other monster. But it was just for the instant speed.
Yeah. I mean, No Guard's a nice ability. That's always good. But
yeah, No Guard Dynamic Punch.
Instant Confuse. But yeah, I think Saber's better off with his moves. Now, no, never mind. Because Slurpuff dropped, Lord Ixie decided to go and drop Aromatisse for Slurpuff. What's the difference, really? I don't know. They both Wish Pass. One's stupid slow with Trick Room, the other one sets webs and sweeps with Belly Drum. I mean, I don't know any real difference here, what this really does to make Lord Ixie's team better, but...
They really could benefit a lot from the web. Like Rose Raid, and Infernape, they appreciate the webs a lot.
That's true. Infernape does really like its webs. Because that stops a lot of Scarfers from being able to come in and revenge.
Yeah, Infernape does have priority for that, but if this is like a Scarf Ghost type.
Yeah. And then you guys will not see what Thriller made for transactions, because Thriller basically just destroyed the damn team. He kept Bulu and... God, what was the other mon he kept? He kept Bulu and Araquanid. Those are literally the only two mons he kept. He dropped everything else. Terrakion, Necro. He doesn't have Necro. Ryan has Necro. Terrakion just... He dropped Terrakion. One of the kill leaders is off the board. He dropped it. I don't understand his new team. Like, Terrakion, Kommo-o, Primarina, Gligar, Electrode, Mega Alakazam, Heatran, Holy Persian, Dusclops, and Ferroseed all dropped for things like Hoopa-U, Conkeldurr, PZ, Noivern, Armaldo, Mega Steelix, the Blacephalon's back, Cloyster, Weezing, and Guzzlord. Like, I think he was better off with the original team, but we'll see. That's really all I got on it, is that I think he's better off with his old team, but, you know, each their own.
Yeah, there were a lot of changes.
He made 10 transactions.
I do like Conk the Cephalon, but the rest of the team is kind of meh.
Yeah.
There's not much to it.
Yeah. So if you guys want to know what Kriller was thinking, since we don't really know much, I'll link his video down below where he talks about his transactions, but yeah, I wasn't going to make 3 slides for all of those transactions. So moving on to our pick'ems for the week, we have the Philadelphia. We're into division play now, so you're going to see teams playing against the last 3 weeks. You're playing against your division opponents. So we have Lord Ixie and the Philadelphia Phantrumps versus Slick and the Cleveland Escavaliers. I just think Slick's got this one, to be perfectly honest. I think we went clean sweep Slick. Yeah, everybody went Slick. I just think Slick's got the better skill set for this match. How about you?
Yeah, he's been on a roll recently.
He's also more desperate than Lord Ixie is at this time, because like Lord Ixie has almost no chance at making playoffs, whereas Slick is very much in the hunt. So Slick's gonna be, he's going hard for it. Got Mamanish and the West Texas Leafeons versus Huff and the New York Matangs. This one's a clean sweep to Huff. It's just Mama's not ready for WWC main yet. She's asked to go down to D. I'm more than happy to move her down to D. I just think Huff outplays and outpreps this match. Even though Mama has shown a major improvement from the Season 1 and the beginning of this season, I don't know. I think it's Huff's game to lose.
Yeah, there's been improvement, but not enough to the point where
yeah, she's good, but she's not competitive. But we have a very, very crucial match right here in Rye and the Braveries versus Spare and the Centrets. Everybody's going Rye on this one, including you. I really wanted to take Spare, but after facing off against Rye in APA, in PCF, in FWL, the man is a wrecking crew. Like, I even with a busted team for Spare, I don't think he wins this one, and that means you gotta face Rye probably 2 weeks in a row. What about your thoughts on this one, Shadow? Because this impacts you. You've got some investment in this game.
yeah, this is a huge game. Like, if Spare didn't get hacked in the last game, this would be a must-win for Rye. But now they have the same record, which is a lot more interesting.
And their differentials are almost the same as well.
Yeah.
This becomes a win-or-go-home situation, I think, for these two, unless Huff slips against Mama or somewhere else. It's probably do or die for this week for those two. Oh, Damien, you drew the short straw. You're the next victim for Shadow. Damien, bring sand. Now, don't bring sand because I just said bring sand and Shadow's right here. Listening to me do this, just do something. Avoid the 6-0. Be proud if you can avoid the 6-0, because I couldn't when I played Shadow the first time. Shadow, go nice. Be nice. Don't just absolutely blow him back with a Nidoking type Mon like you did me.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be 6-0.
I don't know. Well, we'll see what your brain concocts on this one.
I've used Tyranitar before, and I'm currently using that. But I have no Volcanion switching.
This is true. This is true. Have Iowa Jolteon and the London Luxrays, battle of the two new coaches going off. This definitely has, outside of Ryan Spare, this is probably the next biggest match for playoffs because the loser of this one is in a very bad position. If Thriller loses this, he basically drops to dead last in his division and gives Slick a pretty wide open door to catch up. If Saber loses this match, he's very, very close to falling down to getting caught in the mud with his other division mates. I believe I am the only one to pick Thriller, and that is because Saber is an unknown to me. Thriller is a known commodity. I know what Thriller can do when he plays well. That's why I went Thriller, but apparently everybody else wants to go with the unknown in Saber. Is it his team?
Yeah, just because this match was there and seeing how Thriller didn't do very well in the APA. So that's about it. That's all I could go off of.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that you knew about Thriller and APA and all that. Like, are you in the APA server?
No.
Okay, I was like, I swear I've never seen you in the APA server, but you know a lot about APA, and I'm guessing it's just because people are funneling APA info into you.
Not really. I'll occasionally watch your video.
Oh. Occasionally. Thanks. You're fine. I mean, I wait for your WWC stuff to come up, and then I go watch it, so...
That's not going very well.
Yeah, I know. I've been waiting since week 3 for a video. It's like, when's Shadow's next video coming? Because I want to see how he builds, because I gotta play him in PCF again. Yeah, it's whatever. Matthias versus the Weedles. I swear I didn't mean to put all 4 divisions right next to each other, but I did somehow. Again, this is another match in that Mikan division where they gotta rip each other apart. Matthias has gotta win, or he's in danger of falling down around the same territory as Thriller and continuing to open up a slot for Slick to make his move to get in. Clem, on the other hand, needs to win to maintain his spot in playoffs and continue to put pressure on Saber for that number 1 spot.
Yeah, both these division games are just huge. Both teams are 6-3 or 5-4, and there's Slick on their tail.
Yeah, it's with Slick getting on a roll like he has been, it's become a bloodbath, and had I been able to get on a roll, this would have been a very interesting conference to deal with, but I think it's slowly becoming a 5-man race.
Yeah, it's 5 people for 3 spots.
Oh well. And then we've got Portland Trail Blazekins and Crimson versus me. Everybody went Crimson. I don't blame you. Crimson's got such a busted team, and he's definitely more skilled than me, and I will admit that. And I'm pretty sure that's why you chose him, isn't it?
Yeah, his team is just crazy. I'm surprised he hasn't brought in that much. He's only brought it 3 times.
Yeah. And as I've been team building for this, it's a nightmare. I can take down 1 threat, and then there's 4 more threats that I have to account for, and in the meantime, if I adjust, then that 1 threat I just accounted for, I can't beat.
Yeah, versus a team like this, I think you have to go hyper offense.
I'm really, really glad he doesn't have, like, Snorlax on this team, or I'd be dead, or Mega Aggron, or something stupidly bulky. Never mind, he has a Alolan Muck. That's just as bad.
It does lack the physical defense, though.
It just doesn't matter if he gets up a curse or 2.
Or if he has Pest Knot.
That's also true. And finally we have Dragoon versus Nikki. This is a clean sweep for Dragoon. Nikki has shown major improvement, but I think Dragoon's next victim. it's just going to be a bloodbath. Mega Vino is going to have to put in so much work, and I just don't know if it can put in enough work to stop the rain.
Yeah, he has no ground resist, and his ground immunities can't really take hits well.
No, it's...
He has Minior, Onchkrow, however you say that, and Volucha.
Yeah, nothing's really taken much. Like, Dragoon just needs to set rain, end it swiftly and mercifully, and call her a day.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fast game.
Yeah. And finally, our kill leaders for this week. I don't understand the kill leader board this week, but you know, it's whatever. We have 4 fighting types in the top 5. 4 of them are fighting types. Then your next 2 are water ground types. We have Alolan Muck on the kill leader board. We have Scolipede on the kill leader board. We have Victini, which is normal, and Ferrothorn of all things is now on the leaderboard. Like, Mega Glade, you're just destroying with. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just breaking
yeah, I want to see if you
things.
can go no deaths this season.
Mega Medi is just slower Mega Glade, basically. Like, they do almost the exact same things. They're both just deadly. How you got a Breloom onto this kill leader board, I'll never understand. It's like Clem getting Camerupt on here for so long. I make a Camel on here for so long. I don't understand it. It's strange. Terrakion. Yeah. Terrakion makes sense. That thing is normally on kill leader boards. That thing is always a beast. It's a free agent, so if somebody wants to go pick it up, hey, there's a kill leader for you. Shadow, I swear to God, if you go pick up Terrakion, don't you dare.
No, I'm not gonna take that.
That's the type.
Just ruined my team.
That's just the type of thing I could just see. Oh, I'm gonna take Terrakion this week, and then I'll drop it next week, just so I can have an extra fighting type. Somebody's extremely. It's 180. It's a tier 1. You'd have to give up Aegis Slash.
It's tier 1. Okay, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, you'd have to give up Aegis Slasher. I don't know if you have another tier 1 on your
Only
team.
Only Aegis Slash.
Yeah, you'd have to give up Aegis Slash. Swampert just swift swims. I can understand that, but why is it on this kill leader board when, like, Megalodis and Mega Mawile and Magearna and Coco and, you know, the standard stuff aren't on there. Same thing with Seismitoad. I don't understand what Huff is doing with Seismitoad to get it this good. It's whatever. Alolan Muck being on here, it's gotta be defensive stally kills that are just getting it on this board. Scully is still riding its high versus me, for the most part. Victini makes sense, because Victini's always a very powerful wall breaker. And, like I said, Ferrothorn. Why is Ferrothorn here? I don't know.
Okay. Kyurem Black's supposed to be on here. It's 10 and 6.
Did you not notice that I updated the sheet for this week's kills in that?
Yeah, he didn't. Didn't play. Yeah.
What? How did I mess this up? I had this all set up earlier today. Okay, kill leaders, where are you? What
Kyurem Black has...
Did I not update the kill leader board then? No, because he played his game, so Scully's makes sense. Yours makes sense. Oops. I guess... Oh, his Victini and Kyurem Black switched, and I didn't switch them on this thing. That's why. Okay, yeah, so... That's not there. Pretend there's a Kyurem Black right here where my mouse is currently circling. There's a Kyurem Black of Crimsons that is 10 and 6. That's sitting here. So just pretend.
It's 10 and 4.
10 and 4. Thank you. 10 and 4. So just pretend that is sitting somewhere on this map where it's supposed to be. I swear I updated this like the other day, but apparently I didn't. It didn't save or something. Because now that I think about it, yeah, Breloom was number 3 and I didn't move it. Okay, whatever. We'll get it fixed for next week. It's fine. So, but yeah, that's it. As far as playoffs go, where's my league standings tab here? I'm Manish. is the only one officially eliminated from playoffs. Shadow has clinched his division, and one more win will clinch the first seed, so basically you wouldn't have to do anything for the last 3 weeks. You're guaranteed to play the 4 seed. Crimson clinches his division with a win coupled by a loss from Slick. I am eliminated from playoffs with a loss to Crimson. Nikki is eliminated with a loss to Dragoon. Dragoon clinches his division with a win because Huff will not be able to make up that much differential even if he 6-0'd everybody going through. Lord Ixie is eliminated with a loss or a win by... No, he's eliminated with a loss. If he loses, he's eliminated. Mikan is still very much alive in everything, and Trovita is still alive in everything, so really that's all that can be said for playoffs until Week 10 is played. I'm just glad that, like, at least Mikan and Trovita are not in the same conference. Just...
That would be very...
Because that conference would be led by you, and then we'd have two teams at 6 and 3, 3 teams at 5 and 4, and 2 teams at 4 and 5. Like, that entire conference, you'd have probably 4 really good records that would miss out on that conference.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's Week 10, Week 11. We're going to call it a day here. Thank you, Shadow, for stopping by. Did you have any last-minute thoughts you wanted to put out there?
I might do a recap.
You might do a recap.
For the season, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, I will look forward to that if you do a recap for the season. Thank you guys.
I don't think I'm getting past Week 3.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. We didn't make our under 45-minute goal, but we're still under an hour, which is always great. Check out the links in the description down below. Twitch, I'm live streaming on Sundays regularly now. Should be anyways. Twitter, go show Griffin Feathers some love. He's the amazing artist. Check out the channels down below. All the analysts and Shadows being down there included. And finally, Discord. Join the Weather Gamer Discord. Then you can hang out with us. The WWC is moving to that Discord, so it's a great place to just hang out and all that. So with all that being said, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching, and again, thank you, Shadow, for stopping by.